to 7635.
President Trump's Buy American, Hire American agenda is putting some real pressure on manufacturers to ramp up production here at home. So what does it mean for a product to be made in America? Courtney Reagan takes a look.
Measuring a product's domestic content is a careful calculation of the sum of its parts, not just whether it was assembled or manufactured on U.S. soil. The government considers many factors: origins of raw materials, value of labor to make a widget, and the many processes that go into creating the final product. The Federal Trade Commission says in order to label a product made in the USA, all or virtually all of those factors must originate here at home. Though there's no true quantitative measure of what virtually all is. So in terms of what consumers and businesses buy, just a little over half of the value of those goods are made domestically. Nearly 80% of food, beverage, and tobacco products bought in America are made in the USA. Under a quarter of computer and electronics products fly the American flag. And just 7% of apparel and accessories sold are U.S. made.
Well, knowing what it means to be made in America, Courtney found two retailers, a toy manufacturer and an apparel maker, who make their products here. But they are the exception, not the rule. The next part of Courtney's story takes us to New Bedford, Mass.
Building set Brackitz is 100% made in the USA, from plastics manufacturing to assembly to packaging. The Toy Industry Association says small businesses like Brackitz are the brains behind most U.S.-made toys. But that's just a small sliver of the $25 billion spent on toys annually. While the illustrious Made in the USA label is attractive to toy retailers,
everyone says, wow, you're made in the U.S. That's incredible. How did you do it? We support you. The conversation quickly turns to, is it cost competitive on my store shelf?
A classic conundrum for any U.S. manufacturer. Domestic production comes at a higher cost. There are other challenges to making toys in the U.S. Each part of the process is done by different specialized partners, adding to the cost and logistics complication. Overseas manufacturers are more likely to take care of it all. And that's also the case when manufacturing apparel, another consumer segment where Made in the USA is rare. But Made in the USA apparel manufacturing is not extinct. This 400,000 square foot Joseph Abboud factory in New Bedford, Massachusetts has 740 workers. They make about 1,100 suits every day. But it is a rare example because 98% of the clothing and shoes sold in the U.S. is made abroad. It hasn't always been that high, but there are a lot fewer U.S. textile mills and factories than in years past. Skilled sewing labor at low cost is also extremely hard to find.
There's a near record number of open job positions in the manufacturing base because we just don't have the workers with the skills necessary to do it.
Couple the supply constraints with years of falling apparel prices, and you've got a difficult setup for American manufacturers to make the economics work. But Joseph Abboud has made it work, manufacturing suits here in Massachusetts for 30 years.
We're really proud to be made in America, but I think our distinction is we make it well in America. And that's an important part of it, that the customer is so smart today. So I think you can't fool or you can't give the customer something that isn't worth the price.
The problem for many mid-tier retailers is the price behind that Made in the USA label may be just too high. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Courtney Reagan in New Bedford, Massachusetts.